Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. He's in. Bernie Sanders announced second run for president. Vermont Senator supporters receive email making it official. Bernie Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont, has made it official. He's running for president for a second time as a Democrat. Sanders, who won the New Hampshire Democratic Party in a landslide over Hillary Clinton in 2016, announced his plans Tuesday morning in an email to supporters and a video. And if you want to read that full article, we will have a link for you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Kamala Harris tells New Hampshire political leaders she intends to speak truth during presidential campaign. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
We're Rhymes Propane and Oil, and no one beats us. No one has a lower price on home heating oil in your area than we do. But if another company does, we'll beat their price. If you can see this ad, we can service you. Rhymes, meeting your energy needs for over 40 years. Learn more at rhymes.com.
Making her first trip to New Hampshire since declaring she was running for president, California Democratic Senator Kamala Harris talked about why she is in the race.
We need a change. We cannot continue to have an administration and a president of the United States who puts his vanity projects ahead of the needs of the people of our country.
Harris was referring to the president's decision to build the border wall by declaring a national emergency in order to secure funding. Harris, a former prosecutor and Attorney General of California, says the wall doesn't deal with the problem.
The trafficking that is happening of drugs and guns coming into our country, it's happening at ports of entry.
Speaking before business leaders, Harris said contrary to the belief of some, the economy is not working for working people.
99% of the counties in the United States, if you are a minimum wage worker working full time, you cannot afford market rate for a one-bedroom apartment.
To counter that, Harris proposes giving families making less than $100,000 a $6,000 tax credit and repeal the recent tax bill. Harris also took a shot at the administration's environmental policy, saying climate change is real and warning about the consequences of failing to take action.
Let me tell you, right now, as far as I'm concerned, wars are being fought over oil. In a short time, they will be fought over water.
There had been some thoughts that Harris would bypass New Hampshire, concentrating instead on more populous states, but Harris said she plans to be here often, speaking to and listening to New Hampshire's Granite Staters' concerns. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire again consider death penalty repeal. Previous attempt voted by governor. New Hampshire lawmakers are once again considering a bill to repeal the death penalty, less than 6 months after failing to override Governor Chris Sununu's veto of an identical measure. The state hasn't executed anyone since 1939, and the repeal bill would not apply retroactively to Michael Addison, who killed Manchester police officer Michael Briggs in 2006 and is the state's only death row inmate. But supporters of capital punishment argue that courts may see it differently. Two former attorney generals testified at a public hearing Tuesday. Kelly Ayotte, who went on to serve as a U.S. Senator, was the lead prosecutor in the Addison case and spoke against the bill. Former Attorney General Philip McLaughlin spoke for repealing the death penalty, describing the wrongful arrest in the 1997 murder of a Hopkinton girl. Colin Birch prioritized opioid crisis, climate change in first New Hampshire visit since announcing candidacy. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
Burst out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Please welcome, without further ado, everyone, Senator Amy Klobuchar.
In her second stop of the day, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar was on national TV answering questions from New Hampshire voters.
I've worked very hard to stand my ground on really important issues, whether it be things like doing something about climate change in our environment or making sure that we are progressive in how we handle our economy and stand up and have people's backs. But I also am someone that looks for common ground.
Earlier in the day, Klobuchar arrived to a room full of cheers when she held a meet and greet with voters and local lawmakers in Goffstown at the Village Trestle, where she addressed why she wanted to hold the CNN town hall in the Granite State.
We all know the critical role New Hampshire plays in this election for president. But also because New Hampshire believes in democracy.
And New Hampshire voters believe in getting involved and meeting candidates. State Senator Cindy Rosenwald tries to make it a point to see every candidate.
I have not seen excitement like in the past year or two.
She came to hear Senator Klobuchar, who discussed the challenges she plans on facing, like the opioid epidemic and climate change.
When I'm president, on day one, we will get back into the International Climate Change Agreement. We can do that on the first day.
And now tonight, Senator Klobuchar also fielded a question about reports that she has been harsh on her staff members in the past. She says she holds herself to high standards. She expects the same level of standards from her staff members and says if she were elected president, she would expect those same standards from the country. We are live at St. Anselm College tonight. I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lawmakers consider bill to protect New Hampshire bees. Bill would restrict use of certain pesticides. Lawmakers in Concord are considering a bill aimed at protecting New Hampshire pollinators. The measure would restrict the use of pesticides that are toxic to bees in the Granite State. More than 650 people have signed the petition in support of the legislation. Members of the New Hampshire Save Our Parliamenters Coalition plan to be at the State House during Tuesday's discussion. And let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed flat. Oil closed flat. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Stocks rise after Trump signals flexibility on March trade deadline. Stocks rose slightly on Tuesday after President Donald Trump hinted once again he may push back a key trade deadline. Equalities also got a boost following strong quarterly numbers from Walmart. Whistleblower sounded alarm about nuclear deal pushed by Trump advisors, report. A firm Michael Flynn once ran appeared to have a financial interest in the idea. Multiple whistleblowers sounded alarms about a plan backed by close advisors to President Donald Trump to transfer sensitive nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia, according to a new report released by House Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings on Tuesday. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.